Erwin DM Import ER Studio Models Overview. You can import ER Studio models into Erwin Data Modeler using our import bridge. To access the import bridges in the Data Modeler, go to the Tools tab and select Import. This will bring up the Bridges Overview tab. In the Source tab, scroll through the available import bridges to import from ER Studio. Models can be imported from Business Architect, from ER Studio Repository, or from Data Architect. We will focus on using this bridge to import a DM1 format model from ER Studio. The first option is to select the type of model to import. If you are not sure, select All Models. If you are importing a physical model, you can name it here. ER Studio model attachments, also called a user-defined property or UDP, are imported from ER Studio. An attachment usually has a default value, and the objects bound to the attachment override it with an explicit value or reuse the attachment default value. The options are: as metadata, import an explicit value as property value. Default values are not imported. The default value is kept on the priority type only. As metadata, migrate default values. Import explicit and default values as property value objects. In description, migrate default values. Append the property name and value, even if implicit, to the object's description and/or comment, depending on the design level. This allows you to export the UDP values to another tool which does not support the notation of UDP. Both migrate default values import the UDP value even if implicit, both as metadata and in the object's description and/or comment, depending upon the design level. Import owner schemas specifies if owner schemas should be imported. True, the owner schema for tables, views, and other database objects is imported. This is the default value. False, the owner schema for tables, views, and other database objects is ignored. This option may be useful for models where physical names are not unique, to indicate the model should be treated as a logical model, not ready for SQL DDL generation, while physical information is still maintained in the model. Select to remove Rich Text Formatting, RTF, from the definitions and notes. ER Studio versions 5.1 to 16.0 store definitions and notes as plain text, while versions 16.5 and later use RTF, and many tools you may export to do not support rich text format. Set this option to false if the model was generated by ER Studio 5.1 to 16, or if your target tool is capable of displaying rich text format. Set this option to true if the model was generated by ER Studio 16.5 or greater, and your target tool is not capable of displaying rich text format. In the Destination tab, select a location for the imported model. Specify the design level of the data modeler to generate. Logical only will generate a logical data model. Physical only will generate a physical data model. And logical and physical will generate a logical and a physical data model. The default value for this option is logical and physical. Specify the target database. Auto-detect means that the bridge will try to auto-detect the target database from the original model. Export dimensional properties enables the dimensional modeling features of Erwin for this model and exports the dimensional role, fact, dimension, outrigger, and dimensional type, fixed versus slowly changing, of the tables. This option controls the pretty printing of the XML for the purpose of opening the generated file in a text editor. For example, specify here a tabulation character or some space characters. By default, there is no indentation, which leads to a more compact file. Specify valid XML. Specified valid XML if the generated XML file should be validated against the Erwin XML schema before it is converted to the star.erwin binary format. This parameter is only used when generating a star.erwin binary file. When generating an Erwin XML file only, no validation is performed. This parameter should be set to true for most common usages. Connection allows selecting a connection by name if the source model contains multiple database connections. If the source model contains multiple connections and this parameter value is left empty, the connection with the most objects will be selected. Click Finish to import the model. The progress of the import will be logged. There may be some warnings generated, and you can generally ignore these. Once complete, select Close to generate and open the new model. Click the window to maximize. Select Zoom Model in the diagram toolbar. You have successfully imported an ERStudio model into Erwin DM. That's it. Thank you for watching.